Hello, 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 and welcome to the road trip. I'm DWTT or Gary, as some of you call me. And next to me, I got my man Sam. How you doing?
I'm okay, Gary. Pleased to be here.
Yeah,
Thanks for having me on. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I'm
Great.
smiling because I got to see some football yesterday, and
Yep.
actually got to see what I think is some. Well, first 45 minutes, I saw what I've seen before. The next 45 minutes, I
Yeah.
saw something new, which I liked.
Yeah.
So
Didn't start very well, did it?
yeah, Arsenal gave us they gave us some, they entertained us. Let's just say that. I don't know if they teased us in the first half and then showed up in the second half, but I think it was good, and it doesn't really matter who we played, Division, League One, League Two, it doesn't matter because this is what you want. So I enjoyed it. Did you get to watch the game?
I saw bits of it. I saw, I think, the end of the first half, and I saw a few parts of the second half. I didn't see all the game, and then I saw some of the highlights afterwards. But yes, like you said, it was it started off in complete meltdown mode, didn't we?
Yeah.
Letting them have two goals like that, and then we sort of came back into it, didn't I? And it helped a lot, of course, when we in the second half when we got our more established players on the field. That helped a lot, didn't it?
Oh no, definitely you saw a difference in the quality, right? In the
Yeah.
second half when you saw the players come in. I wasn't expecting us to play as bad as we did in the first half, but to see what we saw in the second half was really nice.
No, it's
So
like we were sleeping, weren't we? We were just
yeah,
sleeping. It wasn't really in the game. It was a very, very low tempo, friendly game, wasn't it? And just terrible defending at the back.
yeah,
Matt Turner, I thought, didn't look very good for the first goal.
nope, nope,
Second goal, yeah, you can maybe argue maybe he should have got, but it's a good shot. I mean, he's shot it right out wide in the corner there. A hard shot,
yeah,
could have saved it. I'm not going to hold that one much against him, but the first goal, I thought he looked a bit weak. Matt
yeah,
Turner, I think we have to be careful with him, make sure he doesn't turn into another dud. But
yeah. I wasn't too
no, we came
impressed.
back into it anyway.
Yeah, I wasn't too happy with the way, at least those two shots that went in. And I mean, I know the second one was pretty tough, but he's always seems to like he seems he's always leaning the wrong way, and that's probably more on the shooter than him. But they
Yeah,
can see what he's doing; they do the opposite. But I think, like you said, the first one, he was so. I mean, he you shouldn't get beat. I think on the short side of the
no, he
goals
just
that you
looked a
give
bit
up.
out of position, and he looked like he was reacting. His reaction wasn't very good. He was like a bit slow to react, and yeah. But it's the first game. It's preseason. He's just come over.
Hmm.
I'm not going to judge him on that game. I think I need to see him in a more, established game, a proper game, really, to really be more. I think we can ask more of him then. But yeah, it didn't look great though. Anyway.
Yeah. So the starting lineup, and just go through that real quick. Yeah, like you said, you had Matt Turner in goal, Tierney, Murray, and Walters on the back line. And then you had Maitland Niles, Milsworth Rowe, Zombie, and Hector Bellerin in the middle. And then Nelson and Kedia and Pepe up top. So I thought, that looks like those are players, I believe, most of them anyways, that need to come in and show that they want to play for Arsenal and that they want to
Hmm.
get minutes. They want to get the trust of the manager. Uh,
Yeah, no, it
I
didn't look great. It didn't look great. No, there some of the guys did okay, but yeah,
yeah,
overall, it was
yeah,
a slow start, lethargic, because it was like they weren't really into it. A couple of the players didn't really look like they were very interested, and I see Glenn here, big up Glenn. He's asking about
yeah.
Pablo Mari, and I was just going to say, it tells you how bad Pablo Mari is when Walters is basically an unknown, completely unknown, comes in, and I think Walters, looked better than Pablo Mari, to be honest. That tells
Yeah,
you how bad Pablo Mari is.
yeah. You would like, and once again, we keep expecting our senior players not to let down the youth that are sitting next
Mm,
to them and need their support, because supposedly that's why you play them. That's why you
mm.
play Murray and Walters next to each other, because he's going to help him out, right?
Yeah, for
He's
me,
and he's
Marie's
central.
got to go.
And I guess depending on how you look at
Yeah,
it, either I don't know if we were in a back three or this says a back three over here. I'm not sure if we were in a back three or not, but Murray's got to help him out, and he was the one kind of letting him down a little bit, especially on the first goal.
yeah,
Put
No, it
himself
was,
so far out of position that the pass went by him.
really didn't look good from what I saw from the game. He just didn't look good at all. And yeah, he's got to go, hasn't he? I mean, we can't have him as even as backup. He's not good enough. You know, we've got Holding. We can use him as backup. We'll probably bring in maybe someone else. But yeah, I mean, we got what's his name, Tomiyasu, who can play in the middle as well if we need to, I suppose. But yeah, I mean, Pablo Mari is just not good, is he, at the moment? Or he hasn't been for a long time. It's weird because he had a period he was quite good when he came to Arsenal, and it's just like he's lost his bottle or something like that. I don't know. He's not the same player as he used to be. Maybe there's a couple of those injuries that did it, but yeah, he looked out of sorts again. He's definitely one of the players we're gonna have to look at, offloading, because he's not going to cut the mustard, is he?
No, definitely. And so we'll say hi to the chat. Stephen, welcome to the show.
Hey, Steve. Big up,
Got
Steve.
Ravenite FC and
Johnny Boy is
John,
here, and
how you
Glenn
doing?
Knightley, the legend.
Yes, and we're kind of talking about our preseason right now. And here we go. Riddy's joined us as well. So Riddy, welcome.
Better late than never, I suppose.
Yeah. We'll see what kind of Riddy we get today. We've been entertained by the last couple of Riddys that I've seen in the chat, so I'm looking forward to seeing what he brings to us today. But yeah, so the like you said, the back line. If I don't know, did you think it was a back three?
I think it looked like a back three.
Yeah.
I think we pushed the fullbacks up very far. I think we stayed basically as a three. Yeah, sometimes we look like a four, but it was, I think, a lot of times a three. But it's just, it doesn't really matter whether they play a three or a four. You still got to do your job, and Pablo Mari just looked completely out of sorts, and Walters I thought looked pretty decent. I mean, not great. I mean, it's not like, we're gonna have to keep hold of him, but he certainly played better than Pablo Mari, which basically tells you what you need to know about him.
Yeah, and as Director John says, Mr. Tom Fan Club channel. Yeah, that's sorry, Mr. Tom is actually busy. He's earning his keep, so he can have a place to stay. So he might join us, but I have a feeling he's working, so you'll miss him today. Sorry about that, but you just get me and Sam.
Only get us semi-famous people today.
Yeah. Now, so like you said, Walters for me coming in for the the name I didn't know. I don't think I've ever seen.
I didn't know much about him either, to be honest.
So it was good to see him come out. Like you said, he looked comfortable out there. Didn't look like the moment was too big for him. Marie looked a little bit out of sorts, and Tierney looked like somebody who hadn't played in a while and still trying to get his feet, because he he had some.
Did he get injured again? Because he went off again, didn't he? Yeah. Did he get injured again? Don't tell me he got injured again.
No, I think Arteta said 30 to 45 minutes for some of the players. So he was the only one that got 30, but yeah. No, so I think it was planned.
Again, that guy just needs to. We just need to take, like old Yeller, just take him out back and shoot him, man. Just put him out of his misery.
No, definitely. When they first took him off, I was like, oh no, come on, you're not taking him off because he's injured, are you? And he didn't like he was limping or anything like that. And look who's just joined us here. So in the
there
chat,
he is.
so
look at him. Look.
So there's your. So you guys can chat with him in the chat.
Stay away.
Yeah.
Even at work, he's messing around at work.
Yeah. So now, like I said, I think Tierney looked. I mean, off the three on the back, if that's what we're going to call it, Walters, was number one. Tierney, I know he can do better, but he kind of helped with the second goal, if I recall, with a kind of a lazy pass that kind of started the counter, and but he's probably rusty, so it's kind of rusty. So, but Marie definitely did not make a case. I don't know. Hopefully nobody saw that from wherever he's planning to go.
Yeah, so hopefully shop window and all. Yeah, everyone looks at him like, nah, we'll pass.
So what is this, John?
I don't think John's too keen on Chelsea fans at the moment. They're having a go at Liverpool. Well,
I don't know about you. I don't know about you, but Chelsea.
They're so smug. I can't stand them. So I'm well with you there, John. We should definitely reopen some kind of torture chamber for that lot.
No, think about it though. Chelsea, I believe, lost a lot of defensive metal there in the back line, right? I mean, a lot of the players that are gone are, what I would think are part of their defensive, at least depth, if not. And then, you lose Rudiger, and I know, I don't, not too many people like him who's not a Chelsea fan because of what he does, but
Yeah.
you miss something like that. I don't think they have a replacement for that yet. I don't believe they do. So yeah,
No, but they'll get someone. They're like
yeah,
they're gonna step. What's his name? The new owner. He's
yeah,
gonna spend money, isn't he?
yeah,
He's
yeah.
gonna have to do that. They're gonna have to replace. They might not get like for like, but they're gonna have to get in a decent defender at least to cover for the hole that's there. Yeah,
Well, I
Chelsea.
mean, I think the fact that they're trying to fix their attack to get actually probably, more more efficient scorers, attackers. They have the money to do it, so we'll see. We'll see how that plans out. So yeah, as Mr.
Okay.
Tom said here, the greatest show on side just got more, a little bit more greats with his presence.
Yeah, because
So
you left.
yeah. Oh, see, I was okay. Well, there you go.
Like
See,
you're saying, Mr. Tom left. As I said, as soon as he left, it got great again.
Yeah. So yeah, I think, like I said, Chelsea has a lot of work to do. Looks like they're going to try to do it anyway. So we'll see how that works out for them. I mean,
Yeah.
Rafina basically said, "Not you. You can do anything you want, but just not you. I can do anything, but just
Serafini
not
seems like
that."
a bit of a mug, doesn't he? Honestly,
Yeah.
he just seems to be messing around with everyone.
Well, you think he's messing around, or he just has Barcelona on his
Well,
mind? And
he's messing around, isn't he? I mean, he doesn't want to. Apparently, he doesn't want to play for Chelsea. He doesn't want to play for us. He's just waiting for Barcelona to get their money together. Blah blah blah. I mean, okay, he wants to play for Barcelona or whatever. Well, I don't get it. It's like he's apparently supposed to have been in negotiations with us. He's been in negotiations with Chelsea. It's like, I don't know. The guy just comes across as a bit of a mug, to be honest. Because he just wants to hold out for Barcelona and that. Like, yeah, I don't know. It just makes him look a bit silly.
yeah, I hear you, but I guess if he has his heart set, then that's where he should go.
Yeah, but it's like Barcelona's. Surely, if Barcelona actually wanted him, they would have got him by now. I don't know. They've got hold of some more money, haven't they? So
Yeah, I
I
think
don't
it's the case that Chelsea is going to give them more money up front, and Leeds is looking at that, going,
Yeah,
well,
it's probably
you know,
Barcelona wanted to play in like Spotify premium accounts or
we'll
whatever.
pay you every month
Yeah, yeah. We'll pay you $9.99 a month.
for like 30 years. You'll be fine. Uh,
We'll
yeah,
pay you
yeah. The owner,
Sangria and $9.99.
the owner for Chelsea is going all over the place trying to make deals happen. Personally, okay, it sounds good and all, but dude, there are probably people out there that can probably help you do that stuff and maybe do it better because they got better connections. All he can do is bring the money. But as far as like letting you get in the door where you actually have a chance, yeah, yeah, we did talk a little bit about Matt Turner already.
Yeah, not brilliant.
He did not have a good day, but
And then we
it
brought
could
on,
be
what's his
just
name? I call him Wonky Toes. Okonkwo, Wonky Toes.
yeah,
He's even worse, to be honest.
yeah. I mean, he did make one save, if I recall, that stood out. Um, but I always say that a goalkeeper has to make that play, make that stop, make that
Oh yeah,
save.
certain
Just every
certain
so often
shots
you
they
go,
have to stop. They
yeah,
have to stop. If they can't
yeah,
stop them, they shouldn't be, professional goalkeepers. As simple as that.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm not too keen on Wonky Toes, to be honest. I've seen a lot there that's a bit worrying, but he's not going to be more than third keeper, is he? So,
Yeah. Oh, who? Is it
well,
Hein?
fourth. Actually, fourth. I'll
Oh,
keep thinking Leno's going to go. So yeah, if
no,
Leno
Leno. I
doesn't
think
go,
I
then
think Leno is. Well, he's near gone. I think it's just a matter of a
well, if
medical. I
Leno
thought.
goes, then Turner becomes second keeper, and Wonky Toes becomes third keeper, doesn't
Yeah, I think Wonky Toes, if that's what you call him, I think he's actually supposed to go out on loan,
he?
and
Yeah, he
Hein is
needs
supposed to
it.
be the third goalkeeper. I
He
don't know
needs it.
what does that mean. Which one is the future goalkeeper for Arsenal, if there is one? The one on loan,
Well,
the one sitting third.
well, you're talking about those youngsters because
Yeah,
Hein. I think Hein is regarded as slightly better. Carl Hein or whatever. Yeah,
yep,
I
yep.
can't remember his first name. I think it's Carl, but Yeah, Hein. I think he's from where is he from? I think he's from Lithuania or
Okay.
Estonia. I think it's one of those. But yeah, he's. I mean, I've seen him play a couple of games. He seems to be better than Wonky Toes, but I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll see. But for right now, Leno's still here, isn't he? So
That is true.
yeah,
I mean, I kind of feel like we could have got 11 for him last season, just rushing it, and now we've had time and still 11. I don't know. I just kind of feel like that's low for me
yeah.
for a starting goalkeeper. I mean, are we saying that Ramsdale for 24 we got taken, or Ramsdale for 24 based on what we've seen is probably, based on talent is fine, whereas Leno, based on what you've seen, he's got more tape and
Hmm.
been more successful, I believe.
I think it's a bit of a weird market at the moment where you know a lot of clubs are trying to pay less than normal. Obviously they're probably struggling a bit more financially than they did before. They're trying to get away with lower bids. But for me, Leno is a much better goalkeeper than 11 million. I mean, he's got to be at least 2025 at least.
I'm with you
I
on
would
that.
say, that would be a more correct evaluation. I think 10 or 11 million is very, very low for him. I wouldn't accept that.
I mean, I would if you're going to do that, you have to put some incentives in there in terms of, I don't know, clean sheets,
Yeah.
teams finishing
Yeah. I mean, okay,
something.
you can add some whatever, add-ons or whatever. And as long as it all gets up to 20, 25 million,
Yeah.
then yeah, okay,
I mean, I that's what I believe. So I'm hoping they did that, but we'll see. We'll see that.
I'm glad the assemble's using my term for Okonkwo
Yeah,
as well.
he did. Welcome to the show, the assembled. Yeah,
Okonkwo assembled.
yeah, yeah. I think I think they should let him go, but
Well, then,
if he's only worth
yeah.
11, then no.
Well, this is the thing. I've mentioned this in a few other podcasts. Just after the season ended, and that is, if I was Leno, and this is my opinion. This is based on my opinion. But if I was Leno, I would be thinking I have a chance against Ramsdale this season, especially early on, because Ramsdale he played too many games last season,
Yep.
and he ended the season on a low. He didn't have very good games at the end of those last 2-3 games for us. He wasn't great. I mean, he did his job, but he wasn't great. He let in a couple of goals he shouldn't. His distribution, went a bit south. It wasn't quite where it's supposed to be.
Yep.
And for England, he played a terrible game not long ago against Hungary.
Yep.
I mean, we let in 4 goals. I would say 3 of those goals he shouldn't have let in. If he was in form, it would have been 3 goals less.
Yeah.
So he's at the moment he's gettable. If I'm Leno, I'm thinking, okay, if I just come out of if I'm training like a demon every day, and I'm going to look good in preseason, he's probably going to get a couple of preseason games. I'm looking good in preseason. If Arteta gives him the nod over at Ramsdale to give him a chance, which could happen, and Leno takes that chance, then he's back at number 1 for me. He really is. Even though Ramsdale potentially will become the better keeper,
Sure.
for me, I just think the way things ended last season, the way things have looked after the season with England, I'm thinking Ramsdale, he's there to be got. So if I was Leno, I wouldn't be necessarily running out the door. I'll be thinking, okay, I'm going to try and get Ramsdale's spot here. And he should be motivated to do that, because if he gets a spot, he'll want to keep the spot because he wants to get into the Germany squad for the World Cup. I mean, that's second or third, spot, especially the third spot, is still up for grabs for Germany.
True.
So he's going to want to do that. But that's the thing. I think if he starts the season number 2, if those first games come along and he's number 2 and Ramsdale's playing, then I think we'll see him go by the end of the transfer window, by the 31st. I think then he's going to say, okay, that's it.
Yeah.
I have to go somewhere else to play, because I think at the end of the day, Leno is going to want to play first team regular football. He's going to want to start games regularly because he wants to get into that, the German World Cup squad, and he's still young enough to show he's a good goalkeeper. So yeah, that's what I think is going to happen with him.
Yeah, and as John says, he's no Eddie Beach for those who have watched on the stoop with Lolo last week. Eddie Beach was brought up as one of the transfers. I think Southampton to Chelsea or the other way around. I can't remember which way, but and actually we talked about him so much that they ended up having a segment for him in the next show. So, not he's got his ears that pop out of his head, young little kid. So yeah, so he's no Eddie Beach, but yeah, no Eddie Beach, but yeah.
Yeah.
What does this? Oh, this is say just kind of going through some of the ready versus Liverpool. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, like John says here. I think he's at least 20 mil for me, definitely. I kind of feel like you said, if he's only worth 11, I don't know how many years he has left on his contract. Then
I'm
you
not
might as well
sure.
just keep him, right? And then if he does help you, and if he does help you in the sense that Ramsdale struggles, who's to say? It's not like we spent a lot of money on the goalkeepers, right?
Well, with a goalkeeper, you see, you can't play a young goalkeeper every single game. He has to have a game or two rest, because he's just not going to be that consistent when he's that young. Ramsdale at the moment, he's still developing. He needs to have a rest. He can't play every single game. So I just hope that he might get a rest now for the start of the season. Maybe. I don't know. He probably won't, because I think Arteta really likes him. But if he doesn't get a rest, then yeah, Leno's going to go. He's going to have to go because he wants to play. But I'm just thinking, just for Leno, you might just hang in there. But yeah, in terms, I just want to answer River Knight. So John's question: Wonky toes or Almunia? Almunia, even though he was a terrible goalkeeper, he's definitely better than Wonky toes for me.
But is that an age thing?
Wonky toes just doesn't look good to me. I know he's young; he could probably develop into a great goalkeeper. I don't know, but for me, I just see too many things in Wonky toes I just don't like. I just he's out of position. He's made a couple of terrible mistakes in games I've seen. Yeah, he's not for me. He's not really that promising.
Do you
We'll
think
see.
he
We'll
liked?
see.
Do you think he liked the command of his box in the goal that was scored in the second half
Yeah,
yesterday?
definitely. He definitely. He's a tall kid as well. He's big. He's like 6'4" or something like that. And I know he's a bit thin. He might not have a lot of power on him, but he's a big kid. He should be able to command his area, and he doesn't. That's the thing. He's just not really that good, and that's just my opinion on him at the moment.
Yeah, there you go. See, he's the greatest goalkeeper that hasn't hit puberty. Eddie Beach. Just remember that
Another,
name. You heard
another
it
Freddie
here.
Adu.
You've heard it here on the road
Is
trip
he the
on
Freddie Adu of
DWTZ.
goalkeepers?
Yes. I don't even know. He's not. You know what? I don't know. I don't know if he's Freddie Adu
Freddie Adu was
levels
like
yet.
13. Freddie Adu was
Yeah.
like 13 years old for 10 seasons.
Yeah. The trip Saturday special. Yeah. The only reason why I wanted to call it the road trip because I wanted it to be pretty much about hanging out with a lot of my friends, as I want to call you guys, across the pond. Because usually at 12:30 at night, 12:30 at night, you guys are asleep. So call it the road trips because I'm going to go see my friends on the other side of the pond. So that's kind of why I called it there. Yeah. So we'll get into we'll get to that point there. But as far as the first half of the game, I don't think anybody stood out that needed.
Nah.
I think a lot of players needed to stand out. They didn't. Pepe, did he play? I don't remember him. Was he
Does
on the
anyone
pitch?
remember him?
No. Hector
He
Bellerin,
played.
did he show anything?
Nah, he wasn't very good.
I
I don't
mean,
think anyone was very good the first half, to be
yeah,
honest.
Smith Rowe's shot. I think
Smith Rowe, yeah,
that was
Smith Rowe had a couple
promising.
of decent
Yeah,
things there. I mean, there was a few decent little moves, but overall, I think the first half looked
yeah,
very very poor.
yeah,
Overall, they needed that second half.
yeah. So we'll get into the subs as we get into the second half. So we'll talk about the subs there. Um, let's see what else did we have here. Couldn't be worse than who? Carrier, surely.
Arius used to be in goal for Liverpool.
Yeah. So they have their own version. All right. Got it. So we'll get into the second half in just a second. I'll read the rest of your comments here. Let's see what we got here. Do you think that Arsenal will overuse their youngsters again? In my opinion, there could be burnt out issues this season. We'll need a good transfer window. The only youngster really that they burned out, in my eyes, anyways, I think is one Saka. He cannot play
I
38
think,
games.
yeah, I think he got a bit burned out, looked a bit jaded. I also think Smith Rowe got jaded as well. I think Smith Rowe should have had a rest as well last season, but we had such a thin squad, didn't we, that we just didn't really have a chance if we still wanted to win games. We couldn't put Pepe in really and let him have a few games because he was just too poor, just not good enough. Martinelli came in a lot for Smith Rowe towards the end of the season, but didn't do great in my opinion. Martinelli is one of these players where he's just, you expect so much of him and he just doesn't deliver. He just doesn't really deliver on what you expect. But we can talk more about him later because I think we're going to see more of him now with better players, like Gary and I were saying off screen just before we started, that with Jesus around, I think Martinelli's going to become a lot better because Jesus is giving Martinelli something to play at, something to find in the box, something to pass to.
Yeah.
Whereas Lacazette and Orba really weren't. They weren't really doing what they're supposed to be doing. So I think with Jesus, I think he's going to combine and cooperate a lot better with the front three. The front two, others front two, if you'd say it like that. Like Martinelli and Saka on the other side. Definitely, that's going to work a lot better, I think.
Definitely, yeah, and Mr. Tom, I think Arsenal did have a little game yesterday. I don't know if you saw it, but I saw it, and it was good. Well, let's just say 45 minutes of it were good. First 45 minutes, I could do
Very
without.
forgettable, wasn't it?
I
Yeah.
could do without. And our Arsenal is definitely not interested in Eddie Beach. We're good, we're good, we're good. But so we're good into the second half, and let's see. We start off the second half with a couple of moves. Like looking at the players coming and going. So basically, to start the second half off, you had the two gods, and basically the two gods and the three Gabby package came in to start the second half. Let's just go with that. So all of a sudden, everything looked different on the pitch. I don't know. It
Yeah.
just looked really different out there.
Yeah, it changed. We brought in the more experienced players, let's say the more, better level players, and it changed everything. It changed the whole team dynamic. And we suddenly looked a lot better and played a lot better as well. Marquinhos came on. I think he looked okay. His first game in England, playing English football. I think he looked okay. No, sorry, I mean first game for Arsenal, played in Germany, of course, but his first game for us playing competitive. Well, he's not competitive, but I mean, first game for us. I thought his touch looked pretty good. He looked decent. Marquinhos, I'll be looking to see more out of him. And I mean, Jesus had a very good game, and I really liked what I saw from Patino as well. Young Charlie Patino, I think he's really got that X factor where he just makes things look effortless. He's got that real class about him. Things look effortless. He's always gliding away from pressure, getting into space. He's always got good passing options, and his vision is so good. His vision's so excellent, the way he can pick out passes anywhere and builds up play, gets into position, passes and moves. Very, very talented young boy, Patino. I hope we get to see a lot more of him. We'll probably see him. Well, I hope we see him in the Europa League, the early stages there. We can start to develop more there. And I think there's some good things ahead for us there when you look at what's coming through. But again, there's some holes there in the first team we need to fill, don't we? If we're going to be, if we're going to look at a serious top four challenge, we need to fill it. We still need to fill a few holes.
No, definitely. And like I said, welcome to the show, Stephen. Welcome. And
Big up Misfit.
Yeah. So within 10 minutes, it went from a 2-0, 2-0 back to 3-2 up. We basically did. And
It's just the
Started with a
quality.
started
Jesus,
with
wasn't it?
Jesus.
Jesus,
Yeah,
and the guy's just a difference in quality.
yeah. I mean that there was the nice sequence of plays, passes between him and is it Nkedia?
Yeah, him and
Yeah,
Nketiah look
yeah,
good together.
yeah,
I thought that looked promising, you know.
yeah. That was really good to see because you had Jesus kind of cut into the middle and lay a pass off and then continue through. And typically that would never happen. One, because there wouldn't be anybody in the box to pass to, and now that there is somebody in the box, he can see the run, puts a nice pass in there, and goalkeeper once again thinks he's got the post side cleared. Nah, you nah. Jesus
Nope.
said, "Nah, I'm sorry, but you don't. You left an opening and
Yeah.
found it and put the ball away really nicely." So yeah, the next goal comes up, and I kind of was a little disappointed in the first attempt. I think it was by Nkedia. Basically, he uh, he um he twisted and basically kicked it right at the defender
Yeah.
who hadn't moved. So whatever that move did not work. Ball kind of trickles back, and who was that? Mo El Neni Mohammed,
Mm.
our second god, basically. Or he's actually been our first god of all. We've always he puts a foot through it.
Oh, it was a
Goalkeeper has
brilliant
no
shot.
chance. Yeah,
Brilliant shot. Absolutely thunder goal.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, and this is kind of talking about this question here from Riddy. El Neni shot really nice, really good, and
Beautiful,
he's
yeah.
good. He does that for us, right? Every so often he'll
Beautiful
put a
shot.
foot through it.
Absolute storming shot.
Yeah, and we'll take that all day because we've seen it. It's there. It's one of our weapons, right? So we'll take it. The next goal that comes up again. This one is still, I believe, if I recall, this one Jesus is involved in it, but I guess it was a shot from Nkedia or Zombie. I can't remember.
What would you
That
say?
the third goal that we got that was kind of an own goal that went off the
Yeah.
defender, and I think it was Nkedia or Zombie. I can't remember who put a foot
I think it
through it.
was somebody
Yeah, I got Zombie and
uh,
Nkedia confused because it was moving so fast.
I
You
think it was
know.
somebody who put that ball in,
Yeah.
and just basically went in off the Nuremberg player. And what's his face says, "Who's just let it go in?"
Yeah, I was initially I was like, "Don't touch it, don't touch it," because you could
Yeah,
see he was way offsides at that point. But
yeah,
yeah, no, it was really good to see that goal go in and go. All right, we got the lead back at least because it was like, wow, this at least score two is kind of the thought, right? In second half, let's just get at least two goals. We'll take the draw and get out of here. But we had a lot more things up our sleeve, a lot
yeah.
more sleeves. El Nini, yes, definitely good.
You know, El Neni,
Yeah,
I love the guy. I love the guy because he is. If you want a role model football professional, that is it, El Neni,
yeah,
because he doesn't complain. He's not a prima donna. He's not throwing his toys out the pram because he's not playing. He knows he's second fiddle. He knows he's not going to be starting, but he gives 110%. Every time he plays, he's giving you something to look at. You know, he's playing well. And, you got to have a player like that. I mean, I want to keep El Neni. I know a lot of fans don't want him because they just look at his level overall and say, oh, he's not good enough because he's not world class. But he is definitely good enough for what we want him to do. When we want him to come in off the bench, close down games, he's great. You know, like you guys,
yeah.
want to use a metaphor, American sports
No,
metaphor.
just it's easy. Just
He's a pitcher. He's the closer.
he's our
He's the
Milner.
closer. He's the
No,
closer in your
yeah, yeah,
pitching bullpen. He's
yeah,
the closer. He comes in and he shuts the midfield
yeah,
down, and
yeah,
he is just so good. And he'll do that, and he'll give you a 7 out of 10 every game he plays. Just
yeah,
steady, reliable, loyal. 7 out of 10. You
yeah,
have to have players like that because your squad overall benefits from having players like that. I love El Nini and I hope he
yeah.
stays with us, and I think he will.
I understand the fear of signing an El Neni because of Arsenal, the way they handle their transfer business. It's not that we can't use them; it's that does
Hmm.
Arsenal think that's a signing for the transfer window? And it's like, no, that's just you. keeping somebody around. I always call it. I know it might be derogatory, but I kind of feel like he's one of our 20 to 25 fifth players on our squad.
Yeah.
We just break glass when we need to, and we've needed to do it more because we just haven't filled in the right quality ahead of him. But no, if he comes off and he's a senior player who will come on, and the reason why I call him like our Milner is because he's played the game enough. He comes in, you're not going to ask him to start because after a couple of starts you're going to see what the reason why you don't. So like Milner is not going to last starting 3 games or 4 games in a row. So for us, El Neni can't play 3 or 4 games in a row for us because his quality will just drop off. So that's why I say keep him. Like you said, role player. We need senior players that show what it is to be a professional, and he does that.
Yeah, he's a role model.
Yeah,
he's a role model.
Keep saying we need it, and we got it. That's a guy that does it for you. That's a guy that does it for you. And Mr. Tom had a question here, which I think it's a really easy answer to this one, in terms of.
I think he makes Nketiah better, which is good, but he's definitely levels ahead of Nketiah still. But what I would think would be rather interesting. It's not going to happen, but it's just when I saw the way those 2 guys were playing yesterday, and I know it's Nuremberg. I know it's a friendly. No one gives a flying F. It's, I get it. I'm not expecting much at all. But the way those 2 moved off the ball together and found each other with the ball and everything, there seemed to be a very let's put it this way, very promising relationship on the field there between Nketiah and Jesus. And I wouldn't mind seeing, like, if we played a 4-4-2 or something where we have those 2 playing up front together, Nketiah and Jesus playing together. I think that could be quite interesting if we did that. It won't happen because I don't think Arteta would do that. But I would personally like to see that.
Oh, definitely. And you said Nketiah, Jesus, and who?
No, I said Nketiah and Jesus up front together.
Up top, yes. I don't think that's. I don't know. Is that in actually Arteta has a book, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Arteta's not going to do it, but I'm saying, but the way I saw those 2 guys play together, I could visualize them playing up front together as a 2. Playing together, bouncing off each other. I think one could be scoring, the other could be setting up goals and backwards and forwards. I think they could be a quite dangerous combination up front.
And to Arteta, what you just said was,
he's just going to go with the one.
Rocket
and that's going to work as well. That's going to work as well because I think Jesus will work. As a one there with the guys around him as well. So yeah.
When on those weeks where we have maybe just the 1 game a week or something like that, you can do that because then you're not worried about, somebody's going to have to who's going to play the next game kind of thing if it's all about man management. So yeah, what is this one here? The assembled. If Arsenal could find a Boris Johnson a bit nifty with the backward stepping, well, there you go. That's one way to look at it.
I don't know what he's on about.
That's one way to bring.
I don't know where the football. I don't know where the football thing comes in there, assembled, but
yeah. No, Nenny is more for me. I'll take his shots. One, because he gives me the shots, but he also gives me the other stuff that I like.
He's basically like a Milner. I think that's what we're not trying to say. One's better than the other or Nenny, but he's that Milner type player. Milner comes in for Liverpool in the second half, and his work level, his ability to shut down players on the ball and just do what's needed to be done when he has the ball. He'll give it to the right player. He won't lose the ball. That energy, that work, ethic he has, he comes in and he helps Liverpool win games. He's a very, very important stabilizer in midfield in the second half. And I think Elneny's that type of guy for us. He's like our James Milner, basically, without trying to compare them otherwise.
Definitely. And says here that you look like the villain from Jurassic
World. I think that's Vincent D'Onofrio, isn't it? Some people do say I look a little bit like him sometimes. Yeah, he's a good actor. I like him.
Yeah. So no, definitely proper squad player. I mean, we keep saying we need that because we don't. Arteta, I always say Arteta cannot look at his bench and go, "I trust you, and I'll play you," but he can with El Neni. He usually gets forced into it when he should just do it, ahead of schedule sometimes.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. yeah, he's better than Milner. I don't know. You know what? Milner took out Tierney's leg by just standing there, as you recall. So I don't know. I think El Neni would break his leg if that was the other way around. So yeah, yeah. All Mo needed was goals.
Yeah, he started to score goals, didn't he? Yeah, he started to add that to his game, and yeah, that was an absolute screamer he had yesterday. It was lovely to see, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah. Now Milner gives you guys what you need though. So I think that's when you're at that when you're talking about challenging for league titles and Champions League, Milner is what you would like to have on your bench. So
Mm.
yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, like we said, we're not comparing the two at their top levels, not even close.
You know, the
So
interesting thing when you talk about squad players, Gary,
yeah,
the interesting thing is when you think about all the top winning teams, like the ones, the teams that win the Premier League, the top teams, all of them have that squad player in midfield who can come in, and he's not spectacular, but he does the job, right? You got the Henderson, you got Henderson, you got Milner. For Man City, we've had previously, you had like the likes of who was it? I'm trying to think of now. Sorry, it's just gone off my tongue there, but they've had one or two players who just come in, they just do the job as well, right? Previously, I'm not talking about now where every player is world class, but before they would have one or two guys who come on and they were just so good at doing what they were doing, specialists. And the same like Man United, they brought on what's his name? Your midfield, they're like a Nicky Butt and that type. I'm going back a bit now,
okay.
but they had those players, who would just come on and they would that's it. They'll just shore up that midfield. They'd give you that performance you need. And even coming in to play in a game or two when the main guy's injured, they would just give you that, that what you need and at that level you want. And you need that type of player to win trophies. That's it. It's important to have that player and to keep them. That's the problem, is to keep them, because a lot of players they'll be ambitious. Where they say, no, I want to go and play football, I want to start games. To have players like that who actually want to stay at the club and realize their role and accept their role. Like, okay, I'm fine with being, number 2 or number 3. Just make sure I get some minutes here and there, and they can be a role model for the younger players. It's great to have players like that, because I think we're seeing fewer and fewer of those players now. They're a lot more overall the top guys now. They're so much. I'm talking about the professionals now in the top level of Premier League. They're just so much more prima donnas now, aren't they? They're thinking so much more about themselves.
Yeah, had some suggestions there, Fletcher.
Yeah, Mr. Tom, you're right. Exactly. The last comment there from Mr. Tom is exactly that's the type of point I'm trying to make. The players that aren't going to wow you, but they just do the right thing. They just do the right thing, and that reminds me. And I'm going on a bit here now, but please forgive me, but I remember very well when I was back playing at high level, youth level. Well, you wouldn't see it at me now because I'm a big fat bastard, but I used to play football at a very high level when I was young in Norway. And I remember very well one of the coaches we had was like, he said, what differentiates a top player from a player who's not a top player? And he said, you don't have to be spectacular. He said, you don't have to be, Ronaldo or something like that. What you just got to do, your job right. That pass has got to be right. It's got to be the right way to the right person. You got to be in the right space. You just got to do the right things. You don't have to be spectacular. You don't have to be, turning heads. You just need to do the right thing. And if you do the right thing consistently, you're going to be better than everyone else. You're going to do a job better than everyone else. And that's exactly what I'm thinking about when I'm thinking of the likes of El Neni, Milner, Henderson, these guys,
Yeah, I mean, if you based on what you're saying, if you think about it, the top players can make mistakes, but because they're so good, you don't notice it because they've already either recovered the ball quickly or they're just too fast, so it doesn't really matter. So
that was it, John.
Fletcher,
exactly, Fletcher.
yeah,
Fletcher was exactly that type of player as well.
yeah,
So important.
yeah. No, it's that discipline, right? If you're not going to be world class, you need to be disciplined in everything you do. You got to think 2 and 3 steps ahead of everybody else. I mean, that's when you get older and they say you move to a different position on the pitch. you have to
Yeah.
still think 2 and 3 steps ahead. So you're already there. So no matter what the other team does, you're ahead of them. This is
Yeah.
Tom Curry uh,
Tony
with the
Curry.
Leeds fan. Oh, okay, Tony Curry. Sorry, read that wrong. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he
Arteta.
was a bit. He turned into. He was a very, very high level top player, wasn't he? When he was Rangers and when he was Everton. But then when he, got a bit over the hill when he came to us, he was a bit past that, wasn't he? But he was a good squad player, that type of player for us, definitely, Arteta.
Yeah, yeah. We did not get the best of him, I think, for as long as we want. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. All right, there's nothing wrong with it. Let's see.
He's
Yeah,
right, John's right, yeah, because
yeah,
they're the guys, they're the unsung heroes. They're the guys who they don't get on the top of the stat sheets and everything. They're not the FIFA golden boys, the poster boys. But they're the guys who they run the engine. That's it. You got to have someone to run the engine, and that's what they do. And I think now we see we praise these players more now because of the modern stats. Now we have all this XG stuff, and with the stats goes a lot deeper now. I think we can see more of these players statistically what they're doing. Stats will show that they're doing an important job, but just on the eye, just watching the game, you'll never notice them because they're just doing the right thing. 3 or 4 moves before the goal happens.
definitely, definitely, definitely. I guess this is how. I guess he's saying how Ferguson did it. You got to have some really good players, but you got to have a lot of players behind them that support them.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Those
yeah,
bloody kids. So much better in my day it was back when,
yeah.
fucking you could get this 99 flake cost 99p back in my day.
It's like one of
The
those
English,
things where
the
it's
English
not
guys know
you
what I'm
know
talking about when I
yeah,
say that.
yeah. It's one of those things where you don't notice when they're there. You notice when they're not there, right?
Yeah, that's
Like
it.
the middle of the pitch seems so quiet, and then when somebody else gets in there, it seems like really messy and crazy, and nothing's good going your way, and that's because
Yeah,
that person's gone. Machiavelli, well, yeah,
exactly. And
never.
they're the glue in many
Yeah,
teams. You think about it, without them, things just don't happen. They really do. You need that engine there. You need that person there who's just ticking along, making things go smoothly. And he'll create, giving the ball to someone who can create and go further with it. But without that person there as like the foundation or, just making sure things tick along nicely, it's not going to work. They're so important, these players. They're so underrated.
I don't know if it, to me, I feel like that's why I like Luis so much because he did. I think he was good on the back line. He could both defend and he actually could make a pass and put
Yeah,
a long pass in as well.
yeah,
And that pushed. I believe that pushed Partey up the pitch. So you had a lot of that
yeah.
Partey to Erdogan kind of combination when he was around when he wasn't getting in trouble. But we missed that. I think
Mm.
we still miss that because I think Partey has to come back deeper
Yeah,
than I think we did.
When Partey is fully fit and in fully in good form, he is a monster in midfield. He will tackle, win balls. He'll become a wall in front of that defense. And he's so athletic and dynamic. He can cover so much ground, and he can run through the ranks. He's definitely a very, very important player
Yeah,
if he's in form and fit, which unfortunately has been a bit of a problem for him, isn't it?
yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, he's that player which I hope we can find again, Thomas Partey. So, I hope we see that again this season. And the assemble is right. Gilberto Silva is another player like we was talking about. He silent, quite invisible, but he just did a job. He was like I said, a wall in front of our defense. I mean, he shored up our defense. You wouldn't get past him, and he would win the ball and he'd give it to Vieira or he'd give it to Perez or whatever, and that was it. That was his job done. And without him, we wouldn't be attacking because he would get the ball. He would be the first part of our attack, and people forget that.
Going through the canoe history here.
Canu was, I
Yeah,
wouldn't say he was one of those players that I'm talking about because he was an attacking player with a lot of attacking flair. He was so gifted, skill wise. So, he created quite a lot. I wouldn't exactly say He's that type of player. The type of player I'm talking about is more like a midfielder, central midfielder, you know, just quietly doing his job without being noticed. Or, you know, you just see he just gives it his all and does what needs to be done. Yeah, Canoe was, or Canoe, or Canoe, whatever you want to say. He was that real attacking flair player. You know, it was brilliant to watch. I loved watching him. His dangly legs, you know, his daddy long legs. You know, he just wow. You know, the way he could just get past players and you know, his skill was just second to none.
Yeah, probably could still play for us based on what we've been doing.
He
So.
probably could.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, that hat trick against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, that last goal from out near the corner flag
Yeah,
there, he curls it in. Oh
that's
my
really nice.
God.
It's really nice.
My God.
I was on a show where we went through, I think, all of the African players for Arsenal and ranked them and stuff like that. So yeah, definitely Kanu was in that top 10 list. So yeah, really good. I think I was on the Armory TV. So I get around. Yes, I don't think. Oh, just Mr. Thomas trying to make a joke here.
He's a cousin Canoe or Canoe. Either way, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Mr.
yeah.
Tom.
So there we go. So yeah, I mean, these are, like you said, these are players you remember, but we don't have them right now, right? So yeah.
That flair player, I don't know. See what this Marquinhos is like.
Hmm.
I think Marquinhos is a bit of a flair player as well. We'll see what he's like.
Hello, Ray. Welcome to the show. I think I
Big
saw
up, Ray.
there is
Nice to
somebody
see
else
you.
who I did not actually name out as well. AFC. What is it? Don't know if he's still around, but welcome to the show, Craig. Yeah, Craig joined us midway through as well. Welcome to the show. So yeah, so we kind of went off on a tangent there, but we were, we're talking about that second half and going into some of the players that we missed, and talking about El Neni gets you going there. I got into Partey, who I don't know. It sounds like he will probably be back.
Yeah,
As I said, yeah, as I
yeah.
said, let me go through. As I said in my last time, I brought his name up, and we brought up a player under suspicion of what of doing some bad deeds, and I didn't really want to talk about it because I wanted to, I think I don't want to. It's more for me. It's the victim. Turns out he might be the victim, but it's also for the other person as well because if this is true, the allegations that are happening or the just rumors that were going on now, it sounds like that person has some issues to deal with as well, which is the case here. And then also kind of you know puts a bad light on those cases where it actually is true, right? So now you've got that happens with these type of false allegations that come up. So I
Yeah.
don't have much to say about it. I don't really want to. You know, I always thought Partey looked like a decent guy. It sounds like that's the case right now, but we'll see. But he's just in a bad situation and with a crazy person, or I would say crazy person to go and do that because if they knew what pain it causes for those that actually have to go through it for real, it's not something to play lightly with. Those type of allegations. So I kind of feel like, yeah, that's kind of my
Yeah.
thought. And I don't know if you have anything quick you want to say on that point.
No, I just think I think you said it correctly. There, I think we don't need to say much until everything's all sort of like finally out in the open and done and dusted. But at the moment, it doesn't look like it's as serious as we thought it was. But yeah, I just want to see Thomas Partey come back into the squad as soon as possible, and I want to see him fit, and I want to see him, in form because him fully fit and in form, he's an absolutely incredible player.
Yeah. Let's get some comments here. Yeah.
Mr. Anderson.
Yeah. I don't. Yeah. I don't. Like I said, I don't want Partey to have to be the DM. You know, in that role where he's playing so far deep for me. I like to see him pushed up further. If you're gonna push up Xhaka, well, do the same for Partey because you're gonna get better. I think you get more out of it. And so it's like Mr. Tom knew Craig back in the days, right? He knew him when he was younger, I guess. Yeah, this is like I said, the party story is a little crazy, but we'll see what happens, what comes out of it. Because I thought it was weird that he was getting married, and then next thing you know, and changing his name, change his religion and all of that, and then boom, this. So it seemed a little bit out of something didn't seem right, and hope we'll see.
Yeah.
Let's see. Comment here. Eddie's out to prove a point this season. I hope he gets
Could
proper
be.
minutes and
It looks
scores
looks
many
sharp.
decent goals. You know what? He sounds like a man who's confident in his skills. He said what he wanted. He said what he needed. I kind of feel like that's a cop out. It can't be. I need 90 minutes to show you what I can do. You know what I
Mm.
mean? You never get 90 minutes when you go. I think when you go through a trial, they need to see something. You know, they'll look at your skill sets and stuff. But if they have to wait 90 minutes to see something, I think you know your answer then. You know, you usually can see it pretty quickly, and it's definitely in there.
I
So we'll
think if
see.
Nketiah, I think if Nketiah improves his finishing,
Mm.
he can become quite prolific. He can become quite a big, important player. He's just lacking that finishing at the moment, because his movement is good. He gets
Yeah,
into good positions. It's just that finishing that's been lacking. And if he can get that going, he can turn into a 20 goal plus striker. He really can.
yeah. I'm a little slow. I'm a little slow on the jokes there, so that's sorry. That's why I missed that, Mister Tom. You know that about me, yeah. So, yeah. So we'll see about if it's false or not, but it seems to be that way. But we'll hold off on that further discussion. Uh, there you
Where's
go.
Ricky? Where's Ricky?
I don't know what this means, so
Get my pub.
oh, okay, I got it. I thought that's what it meant, but I just wanted.
That's what Tom used to hear him when he slots around at 11 p.m. every night. He forgets to buy his light bulb, so he goes into the local pub and he tries to get a
Yeah,
last minute drink
yeah,
pissed out
yeah.
of his brain.
No, definitely, definitely. Thanks for the comment there. But yeah, so we'll see. Let's see what do we have here. So this might be a good question. Do you think we have the makings of a Plan B formation yet?
I think
I,
so.
I you don't think so? You think we do?
I think we do. I think
Okay.
Plan B is 3-3, three at the back. I think you eventually like to go to three at the back. Free up the wing backs to be more have a freer role along each wing. I think definitely that's an alternative to what we're doing now. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see what Arteta has to show us when we start playing real games.
Yeah, I mean, and it was nice to see. We've got Marquinhos, who we know is going to come off the bench, right? And Zombie come off the bench. Tavage or whoever else we place him with is going to come off the bench. So some players that we know of. I would love to see Maitland Niles get a chance, or at least tell Arteta I want to do this.
Yeah, he's another versatile
Yeah,
player, right?
yeah, yeah,
It's also good to have a player who can play several roles. That always helps. So I wouldn't mind keeping him if he wants to stay.
yeah. Do you think Patino should go out, or should he stay
Yeah,
in?
I think we need to send him on. He's good. I think he's good enough to actually be in our squad and get minutes. But I just think now with the players we have in midfield, and we're probably going to be bringing in one or two more, then Patino's going to have to go on loan. I want to see him go on loan to a good club, a good high level club, because he is that good. He doesn't want to go, low level. He needs to go high level, and I think he can develop into a real good player for us if he gets the right club and the right minutes, the right exposure.
Definitely,
Because
definitely.
he has that X factor. He really does. He really has that ability to just glide away from pressure and get into space, and his vision on the ball. His passing is excellent. So yeah, I'd love to see him given a chance.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And like you said, we've got Fabio Vieira, who's in that middle of the pitch as well, right? I
We got him
believe.
to
Yeah,
come in as well, right? So
yeah,
to see him, and so
yeah.
that's why I think Patino is going to have to. He's going to have to go out on loan. I think.
That's good. And that's actually good. I think that's good for the future of the squad, the future of the team. So not needed
Yes,
right
because
now.
he's good enough. He's at that level where he needs to be playing every game.
Yep.
So when he can't play every game for us, he needs to be playing regular starting games, regular at a high level. So when he can't do that for us, he needs to be doing that somewhere else and loan him out, get him playing, high level every single weekend, and he will develop really nicely. And hopefully next season we can have a player who can slot into our midfield.
And here's I assume this is our nonsense comment of the day.
Oh, Mr. Tom, he must be on the pale ale already. He must be on the pale ale.
Yeah, I think I do believe from Ray Anderson there that we need a different. It'd be nice to have a different kind of type of striker coming in. Big physical one would be nice as well to change things up. You know, we've got. I think we've got the slashers. They're going to slash through the middle, but it'd be nice to have somebody big that could just hold up the ball a little bit more in traffic and hold off people. So yeah, I think Maitland Niles. I would like him to change his mindset to say I want to play and then that's it. Because if he does that, I think he'll be fine. He just has this thought process. I think that's killing his progress with the squad. So and I don't
Yeah.
know. Yeah, Lee Chapman. All right. So yeah. So Mr. Tom here doesn't believe it. I saw it. I saw it on TV. I saw it on TV. Yeah. Oh, this is that craziness you guys are talking about. Yeah. So yeah, what's this? We got a similar situation with Curtis Jones. Doesn't get enough game time. Yeah, no, I think it is for me. It's pretty clear what when players need to go out there and get. They need to get the 90 minutes a game, not the 30. 20 to 30 minutes. I think for their careers and their growth, right? There's no need to play that. Not in this league anyway. The way it's set up, not in this game. The way it's set up. So Alex has joined us. Hello, Alex. Welcome to the show. Got some pleasantries here. Yeah. Now, I did see this comment today. I don't know if you saw this comment today that Lucas Torreira's agent was saying that Arsenal, I guess, called him up and said, "Pack your bags. You're going to the USA." Which, hopefully, is that a change of heart, or is that just Arteta and Adu thinking, "Well, if we put him out there, it'll be easy to sell him."
I think it's more that, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I've seen in another. Apparently, he did another interview. Was it just after his Fiorentina loan, where he's basically been told he doesn't have a future at Arsenal, and it's he's not in Arteta's plans. So I think it's just a professional thing at the moment. He gets to take part and play, and hopefully, if he gets some minutes, he can show that he's worth selling. At least someone might pay a few million for him. I don't know.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, part of me is like wants him to come in and then be put in a position and show that he's worthy of a spot on the squad, because it's easier to keep him than to let him go and have to replace him if he actually has something to provide to us, which I
Yeah.
think he does. We just don't want to play him in that position, which seems weird, Yeah, and our nonsense segment keeps going on here. So Junior Firpo is great. He actually scored, right? He scored the other day, so maybe he is great. I don't know.
Yeah, well, Leeds have some good youngsters, don't they? I mean, they've always had a good academy. They've got good youngsters, so yeah.
All right, Riddy, have a good evening. I'm off to enjoy some sunshine. Enjoy.
You're not allowed to, Liddy. You're not allowed to go anywhere. You have to stay here and watch us.
This is for Peto Carlos. There you go.
Roberto
The big
Carlos.
fur.
Yeah. I think you might be stretching that one a bit too far, Tom.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? Making up the numbers is one thing, but I don't. That doesn't actually work in the Arteta system because he won't play you. So there's no reason to. What's the point of making up numbers if you're not going to play the person, right? For me, it's just a waste of your time. Let them go, or not, or play them.
Yeah. Sometimes, we don't really know what's going on, do we, with Arteta and that, do we? Sometimes it's really weird what he does, but we'll see.
Yeah, the lost in translation. There's a lot to be lost in that translation based on what he said. Did they say he does not have a place in the squad? And the way that they treated him basically shows that what they're happy to let him go. So I don't know. Ray put a question in there. Did I miss it? I'm sorry. I tried not to skip over questions. I thought
I think that's what we just covered, wasn't it? If it was lost in translation.
Oh, that might be. No, that was a second after I. No, that was no. I don't think so. I'll check and see if there's something here. But I thought we got to. I thought I picked up all the questions there. So, Ray, if I missed it, I'm sorry. But I thought I picked them up.
No,
So
I think that was it.
you think it was the translation one? Yeah. No, It was about the translation. Yeah, I don't think so. I think it's pretty clear on actions what they want out of him.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
they've told him that he's got no future at Arsenal basically because he's not good enough for us. He's not the player we need to have in our squad anymore.
true, true. Yeah, yeah. I'm just double checking. I know it sounds like yeah, we might have missed a question, but I think we did it. We did answer. Yeah, because we did talk about the physical striker. So I think, yeah, Ray, I think we got you. We got you. Yeah, yeah. Uh-oh. Craig thinks I missed his question. I don't think so. I think we answered it. You might not. You weren't here. I was talking. I was reaching out to you, Craig. You didn't respond, so I'm not sure if you stepped away. But I did go through and try to answer your question earlier in the pod. So I try to mark them or just answer them right away. So yeah. So that's the so later on in the second half we'll kind of go off on a tangent. We'll come back right back. Right. So second half, later in the second half, around the 68th minute, you've got Nkonko, Mahan, Salah, Mahan, Marquinhos, Balogun, and Patina all come into the game.
Yeah,
I Marquinhos, I didn't. It didn't seem like anything changed when he came on. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you can see a change. It didn't look like it. Balogun looked like he was getting involved in there. And Patino's, I think like you said, Patino is Patino. He's got the quality that we want. He just needs more minutes, more
yeah,
time on the pitch. He's not going to get it with Arsenal today. So yeah, like to see like it's there's no reason to rush them, all right? All right, they're talking about
exactly.
19, 20-year-old players. It's we rush them into the league, they'll be done in 2 to 3 years, and that's not what you want either. So yeah. So I think I'm just double checking questions just because I'm like that. But oh yeah, that could be true. That could be true, Ray. I think with the actions prove it more than not. So oh, Giroud, yes, I did see that
That's
question. I
not a
didn't.
question. That's not a question, is
No,
it, Craig?
there
It's a
was a
statement.
comment. There was a comment out there about Giroud being that type of player that we bring in, and definitely, if we had a Giroud, we'd be much more happier with a play like that coming off the bench or even starting for us sometimes. So
Hmm.
yeah, for me, definitely. I don't know. Giroud would be like that would be the typical player you'd want to have in your squad, right?
Yeah, Giroud's a great all-round striker, really, but he's very good at holding up the ball, very good at bringing other players in, and he's good on his head, which is good for
Mm,
us when we normally do a lot of crossing. But no, I think we're moving away from that now. I think Jesus is more of a hybrid striker. He can drop deep, he can get in behind. He can do all kinds of things up front. He's many different types of striker really rolled into one, which I think is really excellent with him. And yeah, it'd be interesting to see how yeah it gets deployed. But
yeah,
yeah, no, Giroud was a good player for us back in the day. Bit frustrating as well because you would go through long periods of time without scoring a goal. But yeah, you know what it's like. You know, with these players, sometimes they don't give you what they want.
I hear that. I hear that. Oh, the 27 being a starter for Mecanos. Hmm.
Yeah, it
I
was
kind of yeah
Ebue's old number, isn't it? Old Ebue.
yeah yeah. I kind of feel like we can't be bringing in players for the future. Not, you know what I mean? Like I that's kind of especially early in the window. If they're early in the window, we've got the present to be dealing with a lot more than the future right now. We've got a lot of players in the academy that are out on
Mm,
loan that are potentially the future.
yeah.
But I do, yeah, I he looked okay. It is preseason. It was Nuremberg, so you know, yeah. I don't think Balogun is staying. I think I would like to see him stay, but I kind of feel like we need somebody a step closer to Jesus, if not better, than further away from Nketiah.
Mm,
You know what I mean? So
yeah.
that's kind of where I see that. Yeah, yeah. Definitely. Yeah, Giroud, definitely. Uh, you're right about this one. Terrera and Xhaka one stays and one goes based on Arteta's actions. So,
Yeah.
but you know what? I think they're asking Toure to do what Jacques is doing now, as opposed to Toure doing what Jacques was tasked to do in the past when we were like pissed off at him for playing poorly. So, is Tony alive? He's alive. I as I said, this show kind of wanted to do I give Tony a break. I don't know if you guys like that or not. I'll bring him on every once in a while. You can only have so much Tony in a week. I don't know. There's doctor's orders and stuff like that that you have to deal with. Sometimes Tony needs a break, and I will reach out to him every so
Yeah.
often to see if he wants to come in and chat with us. But I kind of want to mix things up a little bit, and I have just a different type of show, I guess, with on the weekends than during on the Monday. So hopefully you guys see that and like that as well. Um, Now I think no, this Milinovic, Savic, or Thielen. Yeah, personally, I want both, but get one like yesterday. Please, one of them should be on the plane. Is at the least, right? When
Yeah.
we go to
Right.
USA, one of them should be on that plane, if not both.
Yeah.
Our midfield has been. I'd rather have so many problems in midfield being who do I start than damn. I have no choice but to play these two guys. Uh, it
Yeah.
is it's a big a problem I think we should have.
It's
Yeah.
a luxury problem. We need to start having more luxury problems, didn't we?
Yes. Yes. We've got this problem. We've got this. You got a good player here, so we're going to bring another one in, but we're lacking over here and won't do anything. Yeah, Santi Cazorla. It's I don't know. I think it's really hard to find a player like that we want. Um, yeah.
We'll see.
Oh, Paqueta, that's another name that came up. I haven't looked at any video of him, but it sounds like a
Yeah, I'm not
name.
quite sure about
I
Paqueta.
thought people were making jokes when they were bringing that name up in the last show I was on.
I saw we were
But they
linked
were
today to Grimaldo from Benfica. their
that
left
too,
back.
yeah.
But we just had a left back from Benfica, didn't we?
Yeah.
They didn't work out very well.
True. And there's a good question here from the assembled as far as players going out on loan and coming back into the first team. The only one that might do it is Saliba, right?
Yes, Saliba. I think I would personally, and I for some reason, a lot of people. I think it's because Ben White has been playing in the Premier League. He's Premier League proven, as you would say. So I get that. But Ben White, to me, even though he's a good player, a decent player, he's still developing. You know, I think he will get better. But from what I've seen, I think Saliba has, more to him. I think Saliba's a better all-round defender. So I would rather see Saliba partner Gabriel than Ben White. I would like to see Ben White put on the bench, to be honest, because I think Saliba is a better all-round defender. I don't think that'll happen. I think Arteta's going to go with the whoever's been playing the proven thing, Ben White and Gabriel's going to go for them because they've been playing well together, blah, blah, blah. So Saliba's probably going to have to start on the bench, but he'll get a chance. And if he takes that chance, then it'll be different. Then Ben White will probably have to stay on the bench. But for me, I would like to see Saliba start, games now. Just, put Ben White on the bench just because, like I said, I just feel Saliba is a better player. He's stronger, better in the air, faster. He's much more dynamic, much more athletic. Yeah, I would like to see him start.
No, definitely. I could. Yeah, I definitely would like to see that as well. I definitely would like to see it as well. I think Saliba. I think they saw something in him, and he did show it this last season that it is there. He's trending upwards. I always like to say that's a good thing to do. So a player that's trending upwards is only going to get better if you continue to provide them with what they need, which in his case is minutes and starts in a league that's tougher. And he's going to make mistakes, which is fine with me. If you're looking at tomorrow, if you're thinking about today, then yeah, you're going to bring in White. But in the long term, a Saliba after a year in the Premier League is going to give you more in the future than a White, based on what we've seen so far. And I don't. If you have a Saliba behind whoever plays that DM role in the back, right in front of the back line, you probably don't have to depend on them defensively as much. So yeah, like you said here, Xhaka moving up was better. Torres, that's not where he's comfortable. and that's the problem. It's like we're talking apples and oranges when we bring up Torreira and Xhaka. They just don't play the same parts of the field in the middle of the pitch there. And if you play them to their strengths, you get the best out of both. I don't know what Xhaka's strengths are, to tell you the truth, because I think we're hiding him by putting him up the pitch. We're not necessarily putting him in a stronger position to highlight his skills.
No, I
Yeah,
don't think Jacques is good enough to highlight his skills. No, we've got to move on from him.
yeah,
It can be a squad player if he wants to be a squad player, but we need to find better than him if you want to move
yeah,
up the table. We really do.
yeah. And you know what? You say this, Craig, but I believe Partey is the middle of that bagel. He's the only player that actually will go into the middle there, and we will actually make the pass to him. And guess what? He won't give it up. A lot of times players don't go into the middle because they know that there's going to be a player right on top of them. Partey is the only one I think can do that.
Yeah.
Right now, we need more of those types of players who can play in the middle of the mess. All right. So Paqueta, right. yeah, Paqueta, yeah. I haven't seen. I need to take a look at him. If it continues to continue to talk about him, yeah. Saliba is probably going to be the first one if it happens. It should happen. They got what they wanted out of a loan. You can't do any better than he has on a loan at that age and whatnot. Yeah. Okay, they did. I think he got that loan helped him out. Some of the youngsters need it, so they come back and they're ready. Yeah. Who was Eddie loaned to? Do you know?
Where did he go?
Where is this? That's enough of chat.
Oh, Rusty boy.
Oh, we got some new people joining us. Let me get to that. I see some new people joining us here. So what we got here? Yeah, no, I think Saliba needs some time. I think he just needs to play. That's all. He should be part of a rotation. We should be able to flip any one of those three, our three center backs that are the top ones that we have in and out of every game and not lose anything. So it doesn't matter left foot, right foot. We've seen it doesn't matter. Yeah. He did. Did he do it more than once? Because he did it once, right? To Mbappe. I don't know if he's done it.
I think he did it more than once. Yeah, I just remember seeing that one game.
Oh, did he do it when they were making the run for the cup? During the run for that, I think he may have done it as well.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly which. I think it was a league game.
Oh,
I think it was a league game against Benzema. No, sorry, I mean Mbappe, PSG.
Yeah,
and yeah, he just pocketed him. He was so quick and athletic. Wow, Saliba looks really good. Got to give him credit.
So I'll start with the niceties from Russ. So he says hello to everybody and welcome, and then he gets and then he doesn't. His first comment was this.
Yeah, like chocolate teapot was melting.
He doesn't even say hello. You look like you're melting into
comes in late as always. Comes in late.
He's melting into the screen. Sam has changed positions throughout the show. You're just seeing this one. So
Russ likes changing positions too.
I didn't say it, but he does. He is a man from the top bunk. So I don't know. You think of that as you will. Hey, Mr. Ray Anderson, make sure you have your alert. So this is everybody. Remember to like and subscribe. Yeah, I would like to see more of you guys in here. I know you guys enjoy this. Definitely, Mr. Tom, hit the notifications. There you go. There you go. So there you go. See.
I think Russ has finally realised I'm right as usual. And he's wrong as usual.
Yeah. Hey, we talked about him, Ray, earlier in the show. We kind of went through the whole back line, and for me stood out more than anybody else on that back line.
Yeah, he looked pretty. I mean, he was young, of course, but he looked pretty sturdy in several situations. And like I said to Gary earlier, he actually, in my opinion, he looked better than Pablo Mari. Which is a bit of a shame for Pablo Mari, isn't it?
Definitely. And yeah. He did call him back. and
Yeah,
we
he
thought that
wasn't
meant we were
playing.
going to play him, and it didn't mean that at all. So, yeah.
No, he was using Bamford, wasn't he, up front instead of
Yeah.
Nketiah, and that was mainly due to style of play, really.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was down to ability, but I think it's more down to style of play.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nketiah was on the bench too much, really, for
True.
Arteta's liking.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and that's the problem. Arteta doesn't know how to get the best out of some of his players that have a specific set of skills.
Yeah, no, you got to tailor to it, right? That's the thing. You can't always tailor to it, and
Yeah.
some of those things just don't suit, do they?
Yeah. Yeah. But I just feel like in certain situations you can tailor to it. Late in the season, we
Yeah.
need goals. You don't have anybody helping you get goals in the last 30 minutes every game. Ta-da! Maybe. I don't know. It seems like a
Yeah,
good idea. And you don't care about defense at that point. So tracking back can't be the reason why he's not in the game, because either it's tie or you need goals. So if you lose 3-0 versus, you know, if you lose 3-0, then you lose 3-0, but you have an opportunity to score. So there you
yeah,
go. Yeah,
yeah.
Marie
Better
did
help.
not. Yeah, Marie looked. He did not. As they say, he didn't look good in the shop window. So
No,
not good at all.
no.
Yeah, yeah. I think you know what. As Sam said, I think Turner. It's the first game, and there was some shoddy defense in front of him. So that will make any. Yeah, yeah.
Russ, you're such a hypocrite, aren't you, Russ? Honestly, I mean, you watched this Matt Turner play one cruddy game against Nuremberg. Yeah, it wasn't great, but that's his first game. He's come into whole new setting, new country, new everything. Blah blah blah. It's going to be difficult for him, isn't it? You know, you've got to give him if you've got to give him a little bit of a chance. Give him maybe one or two more games. Pepe, you gave fucking 4 seasons and 152 games. Matt Turner, you can give more than one game, can't you, before you make your mind up?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And this is, I guess, in regards to Bielsa and then the Eddie. Yeah, uh, well, we'll see. We'll see. Holding, I don't think was even on in the squad yesterday, based on this thing here. So no, I don't think I don't know if he made the trip, but he definitely wasn't on the bench. So that too. What's this? Uh,
Yeah,
I
it wasn't
don't
good. Was it? The first goal wasn't right.
know. Yeah. Let's see what we got here. Yes. Thanks for joining us on your day off. Yeah, Holding didn't play. Uh, so over like what 70 years ago, they were good. So not here. Yeah.
Was it more about 1946 or 47 or about that time when they had a certain trial on down there? I think that's when they were at their strongest.
Yeah. This is that the as defensive four that we had. I don't like I said. I don't think anybody showed up except for Walters, who will probably be on loan. At least I think he'll be on loan easily now, based on the way he played. So if he's not on
Yeah,
loan
Waters could
anyways,
get a shot. I don't know.
right?
Get a shot on loan. I mean,
Yeah. Holding. It's probably a hair thing, right? No. Holding for well, it's weird. Like you said, we went with those players on the back line, and Holding wasn't one of them. And he's just a closer, so maybe he's like a El Neni. You know what you're gonna get, so you don't need to bring him in and see. Yeah, second goal. I think second goal was when you look at the replay, I think that was a tough one to stop, but I want him to be able to get a finger on one of them. He didn't get a touch on either one, so and he jumped the wrong way in the first one, which looked so bad. It looked so bad when you see him like react so late and he's going in the wrong direction. Yeah. There you go. Uh, things started to go wrong in 44. All right, people. So we've hit the 85-minute mark. So we're going to start to I guess we're going to descend, as we say, on Thursdays, but we're going to start to head out of here. Uh, Definitely enjoyed having you on. So, Sam, anything you want to say on our way out of here?
I just want to say, Mr. Tom, suck my balls.
There you go. That's okay. That
No,
was it.
no, no. I was like, thanks for having me, Gary. It's been a pleasure as always. Everyone in the chat, it's great, you guys. The interaction is always good. Loads of good questions and everything. Yeah, it's been fun. And let's hope the next games for Arsenal give us a bit more joy.
Definitely, definitely. Margulis is here, and looks like initially I thought it looked full, like it looked like he had a smaller forehead, and then yesterday it looked like it disappeared again. I don't know. I don't know. His hair looked shorter, and his
Don't
the
know.
hairline looked higher up the skull there. So
No,
Holding
what's
I
going
think is
on?
not. I think based on what I saw, I think he gave that
And
first set
fluffy
of
hair I
plays.
saw the other day
Yeah, yeah, that's what I
holding.
thought. That's what I
Yeah.
thought. Yeah. Yeah, I think, like I said, I think Holding is he's a known commodity. There's not much you're going to get out of him unless you're going to try to sell him. I don't think we want to do that. So yeah. Oh, not PG. All right. This show is not for kids. That's how I clicked it because I got some guys on here who like to use flowery language, which is fine. As I so
You're
and you
referring
know
to me, Gary. You're referring to me that there, are
Oh,
you?
I've got you. You were one, but we got one Tony Turner who just loves to talk about things swinging and all this type of stuff on the show. So yeah, I think it'll be an interesting show. As we head out of here on Monday. The trip, Matt should be back. I'm gonna have actually the Aussie Gooner will be on. So when we talk about flowery language, that man, he got them all. He knows all of them. So Tony and him should hit it off pretty well. But he's a good football man, a good football talk. So come and join us on Monday for that. Hopefully, we have some more football transfer news to talk about, and we'll definitely be talking about the next games because we'll be leaving. I think it's on Thursday. I think we leave to head out, or is Thursday when we play? I saw a comment in there about Everton. I probably will be on Ryan's show for that. At some point, I'll do one on my own show. I should do that definitely, but I'm probably going to do that one on Ryan's show, Mr. Arsenal. So you'll see me there. Um, and then because it's easy for me to do it because it's in the U.S. So, but yeah, I have some watch alongs on my channel going forward. Definitely now that I'm getting used to this thing. So the Aussie Guna, where is he from? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know which stop on the train in London he goes on. So, but yeah. So it should be a good show. Yeah. If you're not there live, check it out the next morning, Ray. And that's for everybody else. In May 2003, you want me to go back in time, or you want to do a replay? Did you guys win that one? Is that why you want to do it?
I think it's a lot. I think it's one of the only times Leeds have won in the last 50 years against Arsenal.
Did they have Furpo? Was Furpo around?
I
Is that
think
why?
actually, I think that was a game actually Mark Viduka scored. If I don't recall incorrectly, I think it was one of
Yeah.
those. Harry Kewell. I think Harry Kewell scored a goal or two against us in that game, if I remember correctly. But yeah, one of the very few times Leeds have beaten us since dinosaurs walked the earth. Anyway.
All right, everyone. So I'm gonna head out of here, but yeah, we will see you on Monday. I guess I'll be on tomorrow in the Arsenal fan circle, and hopefully we'll have some news on about some players, hopefully. And you saw what was out there about Partey, so we'll see what comes of that. Enjoyed seeing Jesus. I liked the way he played, and it doesn't matter that it was Nuremberg, but that's what you want to see. All right. If he's going to be playing against what some would call inferior competition and look like that in what 30 minutes, I was actually in 10 minutes. In 10 minutes, we went from two down to one up. So that's what you expect to get out of a player like that. So I want to see more. Part of me is like wrap him in cotton wool and save him for the Palace game, but I want to see more of that, and hopefully Fabio Vieira will show us, Marquinhos will show us more of what they can bring, and that should be good. So I will see you guys later. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks,
As
guys.
I like to say, some of you saying thank you. So Ray, thanks for joining us. Everybody else, thank you for coming on. Once again, thank you. Hit the likes and subscribe on your way out. And as I like to say, life is a journey. Don't waste the trip. Enjoy the ride. All right. Thank you, everyone. And we're out.